I got you stuck. Got you stuck off the real. The realness.
Welcome to the Audacity Podcast. Senators will hold a slew of hearings this week with more than a dozen of President-elect Donald Trump's cabinet picks ahead of his inauguration on Monday. It's clear that the next 4 years will be a comedy show. First up is Pete Hegseth, a Fox News host chosen by Trump for defense secretary. Hegseth's nomination has stirred controversy due to past allegations of sexual assault, financial mismanagement, and misconduct that have surfaced since Trump's announcement in November. Senator Tim Kaine questioned Hegseth about whether a history of misconduct should disqualify someone from being defense secretary, which challenged Hegseth's assertion that he had been completely cleared of any wrongdoing.
Many of your work colleagues have said that you show up for work under the influence of alcohol or drunk. I know you've denied that, but you would agree with me, right, that if that was the case, that would be disqualifying for somebody to be Secretary of Defense.
Senator, those are all anonymous false claims, and the totality
they're not anonymous.
The letters on the record here.
They're not anonymous.
On the record, people
we've seen records with names
Vets
attached
for Freedom,
to them.
Concerned Vets for America, and Fox News
One of your colleagues
working
said,
hard every day on behalf.
One of your colleagues said that you got drunk at an event at a bar and chanted, "Kill all Muslims." Another colleague, not anonymous, we have this, said that you took co-workers to a strip club. You were drunk, you tried to dance with strippers, you had to be held off the stage, and one of your employees in that event filed a sexual harassment charge as a result of it. Now, I know you denied these things, but isn't that the kind of behavior that, if true, would be disqualifying for somebody to be Secretary of Defense?
Senator Tammy Duckworth also pressed him about the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN. When Hegseth spoke about South Korea, Japan, and Australia instead, Duckworth had to intervene.
You're not qualified, Mr. Hegseth. You talked about the Indo-Pacific a little bit, and I'm glad that you mentioned it. Can you name the importance of at least one of the nations in the ASEAN, and what type of agreement we have with at least one of those nations? And how many nations are in ASEAN, by the way?
I couldn't tell you the exact amount of nations in that, but I know we have allies in South Korea and Japan and in AUKUS with Australia and trying to work on submarines with them.
Mr. Hegseth, none of those countries are in ASEAN. None of those three countries that you've mentioned are in ASEAN. I suggest you do a little homework before you prepare for these types of negotiations.
These are just a few incidents which highlight Hegseth's lack of qualifications for the defense secretary role. As a retired Army veteran, I found it troubling that Hegseth couldn't answer a simple question when Senator Elissa Slotkin asked him if he would refuse an unlawful order from President Trump because it would be unconstitutional. Hegseth seemed to struggle to provide a clear answer.
Do you agree that there are some orders that can be given by the Commander-in-Chief that would violate the U.S. Constitution?
Senator, thank you for your service. But I reject the premise that President Trump is going to be giving illegal orders.
No, I'm not saying he will, but do you believe there is such a thing as an illegal order that Joe Biden or any other president, Donald Trump, could give? Is there anything that a commander-in-chief could ask you to do with the uniformed military that would be in violation of the U.S. Constitution?
Senator, anybody of any party could give an order that is against the Constitution or against the law.
Right. Okay. Are you saying that you would stand in the breach and push back if you were given an illegal order?
I start by saying I reject the premise that President Trump will be giving
you've done your
any illegal orders at all.
With these type of non-answers, Hegseth proved he lacks the knowledge for the job of defense secretary. But Hegseth did have some supporters from Republican senators who asked very easy questions, as it seems to curry favor with the new incoming president.
Mr. Hegseth, you have conducted yourself very well today. In fact, so well that I believe it's incumbent upon this committee to confirm you ASAP to get you on the job to clean up the mess that we have at the Pentagon ongoing at this moment because of the leadership there over the last 4 years that's failed us.
Tell me something about your wife that you love.
How many genders are there? Tough one.
Senator, there are two genders.
Wow, it's hard to believe that Pete Hegseth is this unqualified, but yet President-elect Donald Trump nominated him for defense secretary to oversee the men and women of our armed forces. Share your thoughts with the man on the street in the comments below. Do you believe Pete Hegseth would make a good defense secretary, or would he just be another pawn for Donald Trump administration?